Welcome to the Bleaching Your Knots class. In this class, we're going to learn how to properly bleach our knots. So first, we're going to start with our bleach, which is the BW2. We're also going to need a mixing bowl and a plastic knife. We're going to be using Salon Care 40 volume developer, but you also can use Clairol 40 volume developer as well. So when I get my bleach mixture, I'm going to start with about 3/4 of a scoop of blue bleach. So the scooper comes with the bleach bottle. And then I'm going to add in my developer. Now with my developer, I don't really measure. I just kind of look for a consistency. And the consistency that I am looking for is like a toothpaste consistency. So if you see here, I am pouring in my developer and preparing to see if it's enough. So I like to just add a little bit and then adjust it as necessary. So as you can see, when I'm mixing it, it's not enough. So I go in and add a little bit more developer. You don't want to add too much. You want to add little by little so that if you need to add more, you can go back and add more and not have to add more bleach to get that right consistency. So after I mix it up, I want to make sure that it is grabbable so I can scoop it up and it doesn't fall. It needs to be nice and thick, like toothpaste consistency. So when you squeeze out a toothpaste bottle, it does not come out easily. That's the same type of consistency you want your bleach mixture to be, so it doesn't bleed through your knots and get into the actual hair. So once you get your mixture together, then you want to go in and get your wig. I like to spray my wigs with water first so that I can move all those baby hairs out the way, so that when I am bleaching, nothing gets colored. You just want to bleach the knots, which is those small tiny dots on the lace. You do not want to bleach the hair. Then I flip the wig inside out, and then I take my bleach mixture and I just scoop it on like I'm spreading on peanut butter on toast. You want to make sure you grab enough and then just spread it nice and neatly. Do not press down. You want to just spread it smoothly over the top so that it covers the entire area of the lace closure. After you finish spreading it, you want to make sure you cover all sides. So make sure you cover the back area, make sure you cover the front, and just be very careful that you get all the sides without getting any bleach onto the actual hair. If you do, you want to make sure you go in and clean that up. So you can just take a spray bottle with water, add a little water to it, or take a wet napkin and just clean up any bleach, because that can change the color of your wig, and if you don't want your wig to be colored, you want to just make sure you get all that extra bleach. So after you finish doing that, you want to set your timer, and you want to have this on for about 30 minutes starting. You start with 30 minutes and then you come back and adjust to see. Now you can also cover this with foil paper, but it's not necessary to cover this with foil paper. Foil paper does speed up the process a bit, so if you want it to be done quickly, you can cover it with foil, but if you have time to get the project done, it can rest in air and still process just fine. So after you let it process and sit, you want to check to make sure your knots have turned brown. That is the goal. It does not have to turn bleach blonde. You just want the knots to turn brown and not be black. Brown will give a scalp-like illusion, especially for a variety of skin tones. So you do not want to turn it blonde. If you turn it blonde, depending on your client, it may be way too bright. So you want to make sure you tone it to a brown, flesh-like skin tone. So as you can see here, my knots have turned brown. They are not blonde, but they are brown, and that makes it a nice flesh-like skin tone color. So after I, let my bleach sit, I'm going to go ahead and rinse this off. So y'all can see me rinsing it off. Now when you rinse it off, you want to rinse off with warm water. So the water shouldn't be cold. You want to rinse it off with warm water so that you can stop the processing. And after you rinse it off nice and thoroughly, then we're going to go in and add our blue shampoo. You're rinsing it, make sure you completely rinse the bleach off the cap as well. You do not want to have any bleach stains on your cap. It will get very annoying once you are finished styling the wig and then you notice you have a lot of excess bleach stains on your cap. So you want to make sure not only are you rinsing the lace off, but you're rinsing the hair, you're rinsing the cap, and you just removing all that excess bleach stains, because that can cause problems later. So now you can see that my knots are turned brown. They look nice and natural. They're not looking black. They give that scalp-like illusion. And now I'm going to go in and tone these knots, because even though they are brown, they still have a little brass to it, and that's why we use the blue shampoo. Blue cancels out orange, so it helps eliminate that brassy orange color, giving it an even more brown, nice flesh tone. So I'm just going in and rubbing my blue shampoo, making sure I get it completely saturated on the knots on the front side and as well on the back side. And then I'm going to actually wash the wig while I'm doing this. And this is a great technique because it's like a 2-in-1. You can wash the wig and you can let your blue shampoo sit at the same time, so that you can kill two birds in one stone. And what I like to wash my wigs with is clarifying shampoo. I like to use clarifying shampoo for all of my fresh wigs, because this hair is coming from overseas or different places. And before you give your clients their wigs, you want to make sure the wigs are clean and product free, and just chemical free and everything like that. So I like to use clarifying shampoo to get rid of any residue or anything that could be on the hair from being shipped. So after I add my clarifying shampoo, I like to put it in a bowl and just let it sit with the blue shampoo on the lace and then the clarifying shampoo on the hair. And I let it sit for a few minutes so that it can fully process. So I'm going to let this sit for about 5 minutes, and then after I let it sit for a while, I'm going to, look and see if it gives me the desired results. The longer that you let hair sit into blue shampoo or purple shampoo or any tone shampoo, the longer it will give the results. So 5 minutes is a good amount of time, but if you notice that it still has a little bit brass, then you can leave it on longer. But as you can see here, it's no brass in here. It's nice and brown and toned, and so now I can go ahead and give this a wash. So I'm going to rinse out all this shampoo. I'm going to use the bowl method. I like to put my wigs inside of a bowl because that really helps me be able to see how much residue is on the hair and everything like that. But let's get into the knots. The knots are super small, and that is one great way to make sure your wigs look super natural, is making sure you have small tiny knots on the lace. So now we're going to go ahead and just give this a good rinsing. Make sure we remove all of the shampoo that has acquired over this process. So we're going to give this a good rinsing out. And then after we finish rinsing it out, we're going to apply some conditioner. As you can see, it's no shedding, and that's what you want for your wigs once you complete them, that it's to be no shedding. And if it is shedding, that means that you left the bleach on way too long and it caused it to have some damage. So please make sure you do not leave your bleach on too long, because it will damage your lace. So you want to make sure you leave it on for 30-45 minutes max. If it's taking longer than 45 minutes, then that's not really good lace, and you should refrain from using that for the future. But you want to leave it on just enough time to tone and bleach the knots, but not damage the lace. So I'm rinsing it out. I'm going to go in and add my conditioner, and that's pretty much all you need to do when you are bleaching your knots. You can see it looks nice and flesh tone. Once I cut this lace and add my makeup, you're not going to even be able to see the lace. It'll fit right in. It'll blend right in with my skin. Bleaching knots is a crucial element in making sure your wigs give a scalp-like illusion. If you do not bleach your knots, your wigs are going to look very wiggy. They're going to look, like the black dots, and they don't look as realistic as bleaching your knots to making them look super natural. So this is a step that you do not want to forget. Sometimes stylists skip the bleaching and knot steps, and they choose to just pluck instead and add makeup. But this step eliminates you having to pluck so much, especially plucking your parting space, and also it eliminates you having to use too much makeup to blend it. This quick and easy step can be done within about 30 to 45 minutes, and it will help enhance your wig looks. It'll help make all your wigs look super realistic, especially with the naked eye. So now that we have bleached our knots, we're going to go ahead and customize this wig and style it. And I'm going to show you guys how that you can make this wig look even more natural, as well as doing baby hair and other type of styling techniques.